Hey, this is Matthew D'Onofrio, aka Dino Fries, and I'm going to be giving you all a first look at Ethyrial Echoes of Yore by indie developer Gellyberry Studios. This is a low poly, hardcore MMORPG that's heavily inspired by Runescape and Ultima Online. It is challenging, it is old school. You are in this world called Yore, and there's character customization, there's classes, there's instant dungeons, raids, world bosses, crafting, property ownership. It's got high risk gameplay. There's loot, there's bounty hunters, there's PvP, there's a story, yada yada yada. Let's dive in. So first thing I did, obviously, when I jumped into the game, is I made a character. And I gotta say, I kind of really dig the low poly aesthetic. You got some options to, customize your character here and there. Not much, but to be honest, I'm not really a too big fan of too many options when it comes to character customization. Only because I don't like when I'm given too many options, then I take too long. So this was just right. So I made my character, and then you are asked to choose a vocation and then a specific class to be. So there's a lot. So the first vocation we have is fighters, and with the fighters you have Berserker, Spellblade, Brawler, Crusader, or Warden. Then there's the Protector vocation, which is the Guardian, the Earth Guard, the Dragon Knight, and the Demon Knight. I guess this is the tank one, whereas the fighter was more the melee DPS. Then you got archers, and you can choose between hunter or ranger. Next is rogues, classic rogues, again with classic archers from before. You got assassin and shadowblade. Then you got arcanists. So this is, your mages, elementalist, shadowcaster, infuser. As you can see, there's so many classes. I didn't know what to choose. And last, there's mystics, and this you have enchanter, priest, cultist, and druid. These are the healers, I'm assuming. And yeah, so I love how many options they give you. I know I said that when it came to character customization, there were too many options, but I think with classes, that's great. And with character customization too, obviously. But this is great. There's a lot of classes. This is way more than an MMORPG usually offers. And I honestly, I couldn't choose. So I just went with an archer and chose ranger because I usually go bow and arrow in these kinds of games. And it just felt like the simplest choice. So yeah, I went ranger. So once I finally got into the game, the first thing I noticed was, why the heck am I moving so gosh darn slow? You move really slow in this game. And I didn't even find out till way later on, like an hour or more in, that you can toggle run by hitting caps lock. I don't know if they told me that outright or I missed it. But I was walking really slow for like the first hour of the game, and it was pretty frustrating. I was thinking, like, I don't remember moving this slow when I played RuneScape back in the day. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was this slow in RuneScape, but man, the slow movement, it really took me back at first. It kind of was a bad first impression. I'll say that much for the game. I was just like, oh gosh, am I really gonna be moving this slow? Maybe you can move faster once the tutorial ends. Nope. But the tutorial was kind of a slog. I mean, they tell you what to do. They tell you how to gather and fight, and how to talk to NPCs and what to click on. Only thing I want to say though is that, like, in the tutorial, I noticed, so there's, towards the end of the tutorial, you have to go down, you have to open up a trapdoor and go down a ladder to go hunt some rats. And you for some reason, like, I don't know if it's just me, but I could not click on this dang trapdoor and ladder just to go down. You have to like click your mouse wheel and move the world around to be able to like properly click on the ladder and move down. And that was really frustrating for me. It really interrupts the gameplay, which again is already slow as it is. Like, I don't need more obstacles in my way to enjoy the game like this was. And then once I got down into the underground and I was fighting rats, it was finally my time to do the combat. And I don't really have complaints about the combat. I mean, I'm a low level. There's not many skills to press. I will say though that I don't know if this is for ranged classes, and maybe the rats are small, but there are other enemies that come up later. Like it's hard to click on them just to fire, because you have to right click in order to attack. And so like I had to like, again, move the world around just to get a good just to be able to click on the enemy to shoot. And again, like that really disrupted my enjoyment of the game, which again, it's slow to begin with. Like I don't need those extra hurdles in my way. Another thing I didn't really like is the map. I mean, like it's like pixely. Like the game is already low poly, but I don't know why they had to make the map just straight up like text, and I don't even know what to call it. It looks like something made out of MS Paint. It's so confusing to navigate. I really hope that they update this map somehow. I don't think it's. I mean, like the game itself looks. I love it. I love the look of the game. It looks phenomenal. I really think the game looks fantastic, but I don't like this MS Paint map. It's hard to navigate, and yeah, not a fan. So after finally finding the ship to exit the tutorial, I made it to Solitary Isles of the Mainland, and you speak to this guy, Dorian Black, who's right there when you get off the boat, and he tells you to pick up 3 bottles from he's quote unquote that chest over there. And I couldn't find this dang chest. I'm looking back at my footage now, I realize it. I think it's right there on the docks. So I try to enter houses, I see there's chests in there, but the door is locked, and so I don't even do the first quest. I don't know if the game is meant to be like this, because you have to figure out quests on your own, but this was the first quest on the mainland, and I was like, oh gosh, like I can't even do the first quest. I couldn't find these bottles. I wound up just not even bothering with the first quest. And then this quest that first quest that I couldn't do, that was annoying to begin with. And then I wound up going the wrong way. I said to go east. I think I went north, and I wound up in a town called Farwood. I talked to Wilhelm Traveler, the sergeant there, and he told me to pass along a message that this guy Henry was getting fired. And I don't know if this quest is bugged or not, but I talked to Henry. I went through all his dialogue options, and I could not complete the quest. So like that was the 2 quests right off the bat that I could not complete. And so yeah, I was pretty frustrated at this point with the game. And so my frustration continued. I kind of just said, forget it. I'm just gonna kill some spiders over here and level up the good old fashioned way. And this wasn't so much frustrating as the game is hard. And so like I was able to kill 1 spider at a time, resting here and there. But once 2 ganged up on me, I was pretty much toast. And I died plenty of times just to these spiders like right outside the first town. And then followed by that, because I didn't have those bottles from that first quest, I couldn't do this other quest that they were telling me to do. So again, at this point I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on with the quest in here. But then I finally got a quest I knew I could do. I went back to old Dorian, at the dock, and I picked up a quest to kill spiders. And yeah, I am very familiar with killing spiders. And so that was the first quest I was able to do. But then Dorian told me to bring potions and heal the other hunters out there fighting the spiders. And I didn't know how to heal, so I wound up dragging the potions, and I think I wound up dropping them. And so I was like, oh shoot. So I went back to Dorian and tried to get more potions, and he only gave me 3, whereas he gave me 5 before, and the quest needed 4 people healed. And so yeah, another quest that I could not complete. And I don't know, again, if the game is like, it's meant to be this way. Like if you fail a quest and like you fail the quest, I don't like that, because it's not like the quests are competitive. I know this is a multiplayer game, but the quests are for the player and the player alone. So I don't know why this system is involved. So yeah. Also, I encountered a bug back in Farwood Town. There was this fountain I wanted to check out, but it kept like glitching me, and then I didn't stop getting glitched until I said I am stuck into the chat, and then for some reason that unstuck me. That was actually hilarious. I don't even care if that was a bug or not. How I solved it, it was a great moment. And actually this happened to me I think like 1 or 2 other times in the same exact thing. I got stuck and I said into the chat box, I'm stuck, or like unstuck me, and it worked. So I don't know if the developers know that, but thank you for the laughs there. So as you know, I've kind of been turned off from the quests at this point, and so I decided to just go into a cave and fight some rats and level up, because honestly, aside from the wonky clicking to attack, the combat is very fun. I mean, I like that it's difficult. You know, I only have like 3 skills at this low level, but you know, figuring out like how to shoot, you know, the enemy from far away as a range, and then follow up with my spirit arrow, and then quickly go to a barrage, and then eventually like aim my exploding spirit arrow thing into the ground, hopefully hit multiple enemies. That combat loop didn't get old for me. It actually was quite fun, and so I was having fun just not doing the quests at this point and just grinding. It kind of turned things around for me. But then I encountered another quest that I could not do. This guy I found in the caves told me to soothe spirits like above where we were, and I found the spirits he was talking about, and I didn't know. He didn't tell me how to soothe them. I tried attacking them. I didn't know how to soothe them, and so I couldn't even do this quest either, because I couldn't figure out how to soothe them. And so at this point in my playthrough, I was kind of feeling burnt out a bit, because then I got to a part where there was these like thieves in a library, and it seemed like a really cool thing to do, you know, like a hard enemy. Yeah, like that sounds fun as a challenge. But I realized I couldn't even take down one without dying, and so I was thinking like, okay, well, I have to go back and grind, and that seems slow, so I think I'm done. But then I turned off the game, and something was itching for me to get back in. I was like, you know what, like, I had fun with the combat. The world looks so nice. Like there's got to be more to it. And to my surprise, and you know, a positive one at that, you know, there was. And so I went back to Farwood, and I got myself some armor, right? Because I was like, well, if I'm having trouble, get me some armor. So I bought a bunch of armor, and I also found out that I could just sell a bunch of apples that were plentiful in the forests for enough coin to afford my new armor. And I decided to explore a little more. And then I found these mines, which unfortunately were just filled with rats, as the other one was. So I do want to mention, you know, enemy diversity. This is just the first town, obviously, but in this first section of the game, not much, you know, diversity of enemies, but I'm hoping there's more later on. I'm sure there will be. So yeah, I went to the mines. I decided to just grind it up, and that was really fun. I had fun just grinding on rats In the mines, I died once. That was okay. I just went back. Still was challenging enough, but I felt myself getting more powerful, and that was cool. I was enjoying it very much. But you know, I do want to mention though that in these mines, there was no like treasure. Like there was no treasure to be found, and that kind of bummed me out. I explored this entire mine. I think I did, and I found no treasure. And I love finding treasure in MMORPGs, you know, and usually loot is plentiful. Usually you find chests everywhere in the open world. This game, I didn't find a single treasure chest aside from the ones that were locked behind those houses, which I couldn't get to. So that was a bummer, but I was still enjoying just grinding on rats. And then I decided to take it to the next level. Not on purpose, actually. I just kind of stumbled upon a boss fight. And then I took down the boss, and it actually was not easy. I was very close to dying, but I did it, and that felt really cool. And at this point in my playthrough, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna end it on a high note. I'm gonna end it with killing this alpha wolf, because I am the new alpha. And yeah, and so here is now where I want to talk about the game as a whole. So as you saw in my playthrough, you see I just brought up negative after negative, didn't I? Because you know there are a bunch of things with Illyria that I have. I'm sorry, Ethereal, that are, I would say, annoying and frustrating. It didn't stop me from enjoying the game, because even as I'm making this video, as this first look, I'm excited to jump back in. I actually am. I think the game, it looks fantastic. I absolutely love the art style. The music is nice. The sounds are really nice. The presentation of this game is absolute, like, it's gorgeous. They did a fantastic job. The slow movement of the characters, I do wish the characters moved a little faster, but I understand the pace of the game is supposed to be, you know, this isn't a game, you know, so many games today, you know, with our, you know, they always want to give you like all these serotonin hits, you know, fast move and like blah blah blah. This is a really different game, and actually I appreciate that, because I feel like this is a game where like it really draws you in, and it makes you take your time with, you know, it brings you back to, you know, those, for me, those old RuneScape days when not everything was a cakewalk, and you got on and you grinded, and it was fun. And this, I don't know if there's a space in the industry for a game like this, but I hope so, because this game is super unique, and I really like what they did here. I think the combat is super satisfying. There are the quest thing, I really think they need to do something about. I don't know if it was just me, but the quest could be a little more coherent, and they could tell you a little bit more on what to do, and again, like, not like fail you completely if you mess it up. I don't like that. Aside from that, I think at this point the only thing is, like, are you willing to spend the $10 a month for this game? Personally, I would spend the $10 for that first month when this comes out, and I would see if I like it, because I think $10 to play this game for a month is well worth it. I would play this game if it was free. I would probably pay 10, 20, 30 bucks to play this game all the way through. Is this game gonna last though for months, years down the line? I hope I'm wrong, but I'm not sure how it can compete with all these other games with the monthly subscription. I mean, like, World of Warcraft has a monthly subscription that's just $5 more than this, and World of Warcraft is the biggest MMORPG ever and still is to this day. So I mean, I guess for someone like me and maybe you, you know, that $10 subscription for that first month, maybe second month, maybe third month, maybe fourth month, is super worth it in my opinion. I would definitely drop $10 to play this game for a month. And then you cancel it if you get bored, right? Which is not so good for the developers. So maybe there is something to this game that'll keep us playing for a long time. But either way, I think fans of the genre will very much enjoy playing this game, because I sure did, despite its flaws and frustrating / annoying systems here and there. And I'm looking forward to it, and I hope this game does impress people and has a long life, because it's super unique. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I'm curious what you guys think in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of my opinions, what you think of this footage. Have you played Ethereal? Are you looking forward to it? And yeah, drop a like, subscribe to MMOBomb if you haven't already. And yeah, this was Matthew D'Onofrio, aka Dino Fries, with the first look at Ethereal, Echoes of Yore. Ta-ta.